Hi, this is Laura Guitard.
And this is Julia Skarsky.
And you're watching LJ Alberta News. Let's start with the weather. Alberta has a humid continental climate with warm summers and cold winters. The province is open to cold Arctic weather systems from the north, which often produce extremely cold conditions in the winter.
Many people, when first seeing the Rockies, assume it is made of very hard rock, like granite. With the exception of a few isolated pockets of igneous rock, the Canadian Rockies are composed exclusively of layered sedimentary rocks. These include limestone, sandstone, shale, and more. With the climate and landscape in Alberta, you can do many things, including skiing, rock climbing, camping, hunting, and fishing.
About 59% of Alberta is covered by trees. In the southern parts of Alberta are the Canadian prairies or the grasslands. The Parkland Natural Region is one of Alberta's richest agricultural regions and comprises about 12% of Alberta. In this region, there are lots of rich soils used there to grow vegetable crops or plants. Some people know that in the parkland, there's plenty of water and lots of rich soil. Also in the parklands, there are plenty of oil and gas. Oil can be used for transportation fuels, producing electricity, heating, plastic, fertilizer, and many more. Gas can be used for cooking, drying, heating, and washing, and also can be used for lawnmowers, stoves, or other appliances. Few places in the world have as great a diversity of wildlife as Alberta. The province has 587 species that are considered wildlife, including 10 species of amphibians, 95 mammals, 411 birds, 8 reptiles, and 65 fish.
Alberta has been called the energy province because it produces most of Canada's crude oil, natural gas, and a large share of its coal. The province contains the bulk of Canada's known reserves of these fossil fuels. Most of the coal produced in Alberta is used within the province. The rest is exported. Oil and gas pipelines extend from Alberta to British Columbia, the United States, and eastern Canada. Alberta's petrochemicals industry manufactures chemicals for making plastics, fertilizers, synthetic rubbers, and many other products. The oil-gas sector accounts for about 19% of the province's gross domestic product. Revenues for oil and gas technology and services totaled about $33 billion in 2013. The industry nearly tripled in size between 2003 and 2013.
Oil sands production requires an extremely large quantity of water. In general, it takes about 2 to 4.5 barrels of water to produce 1 barrel of oil. Criticism from academics and activists has mainly focused on the effects of water withdrawals on fish populations and the water security of communities within the watershed. As new projects will require further massive withdrawals of water, the availability of freshwater sources may limit the continued expansion of oil sands production. Currently, Alberta is responsible for 1/3 of Canada's greenhouse gas emissions. Specifically, the oil sands are Canada's largest growing source of GHGs, and these emissions are expected to increase substantially in the future. Alberta's Sustainable Resource Development, or SDR, encourages balanced and responsible use of Alberta's natural resources. Sustainable resource development fights forest fires, manages fish and wildlife, oversees the development of forests, manages the use of public lands, and the management of Alberta's natural resources.
Alberta is one of Canada's major metal manufacturing centres, behind only Ontario. Thanks to a strong demand from Alberta's energy sector, there are a number of opportunities for the province's metal manufacturing companies. Tens of billions of dollars are being spent in both the oil sands and conventional oil and gas sectors each year. The oil and gas sectors account for about 19% of the province's gross domestic product.
Alberta has seen tens of thousands of layoffs in the past couple of years, but its employment rate remains the highest in the country. At 66.7%, Alberta's rate is the highest among all provinces and well above the national rate of 61.2%. The proportion of people aged 55 and older in Alberta is only 29%, which is the lowest among the provinces and below the national average of 36%. While people tend to work less as they get older due to retirement, illness, injury, or a variety of other factors, that's less true in Alberta than the rest of the country.
Today, tourism is one of the leading industries in the province, employing over 127,000 Albertans and generating over $8 billion in annual expenses.
Most Albertans are immigrants. Alberta also has one of the largest francophone populations in Canada. This is why newcomers settle easily here. Calgary is the third most diverse city in Canada, one of the world's most multicultural countries.
Alberta has one of the largest, youngest, and fastest growing Aboriginal populations in Canada. There are over 45 First Nations groups in 3 treaty areas. There are over 140 reserves. There's about 812,771 hectares of reserve land. The most commonly spoken First Nations languages are Blackfoot, Cree, Chipewyan, Dene, Scarsi, and Stoney.
Okay, Julia. In 2011, the population of Alberta was 3,645,257, which represents a change of 10.8% from 2006. This compares to the national average of 5.9%. The land area of Alberta is 640,081.87 square kilometers with a population density of 5.7 persons per square kilometer. This compares to the national land area of 8,965,121.42 square kilometers with a population density of 3.7 persons per square kilometer. The life expectancy of Alberta is 80.7. Between 2015 and 2020, Alberta's economy is expected to add approximately 197,000 new jobs. In addition, over 50% of all new jobs are expected to require some form of learning beyond a high school education. More education and training is expected to be a key to success in the new economy. Over the next 5 years, there will be a strong demand for occupations that need university degrees.
14% of homeless are living on the street. 40% have some form of mental illness. 50% have some history of substance abuse. 25% are employed. 10% are young adults. 11% are families with school-aged children. In addition, many more Albertans are considered at risk of becoming homeless. That is, they spend more than 30% of their income on housing. Some of these Albertans will fall into homelessness. The country's overall crime severity index climbed 5% in 2015 from 2014 due to more incidents of fraud, breaking and entering, robbery, and homicide.
Alberta has many sports teams, including the Edmonton Oilers, the Calgary Flames, and the Calgary Stampeders. They have a lot of recreation areas for swimming and other activities. Federal budget provides $20 million over 4 years to High Performance Sports Ottawa, Ontario. While recognizing that 2015 has been proclaimed the Year of Sport, the government sees the benefits of being active. During 2015, Canadians are being encouraged to celebrate the role that sport plays in the country and to participate in and seek the benefits of sport. The document reads, The high-performance sports system in Canada receives some very good news in the budget.